This is Mac OS Ken.
Checking on the Arizona TSMC plant, Apple marks the passing of President Carter, and Apple TV Plus goes free this coming weekend. It is Tuesday, the 31st of December, 2024, last day of the year for those who've lost count. I'm Ken Ray, and this is a tiny bit O news from Mac OS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management, your solution for MDM and identity and access management. Learn more at onepassword.com/macOSCan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. How are things at TSMC's Arizona chip facility? In terms of employment, only about half as good as some might hope. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece this week highlighting hiring at the facility. According to that, a full half of the jobs created by the first TSMC Arizona chip plant have been filled by workers from Taiwan, despite the company receiving up to $11.6 billion worth of grants intended in large part to generate U.S. jobs. The report goes through a litany of issues that have dogged the facility. Disappointment that the first plant would not be producing TSMC's more advanced processors, problems with the construction running behind schedule and over budget, chip production pushed from 2024 to 2025 because, did I mention construction delays? Most recently, the report says a further delay was announced for 2nm chip production as a lawsuit accused the company of anti-American discrimination. Which brings us to an even more most recently report, this one from the New York Times. Despite TSMC saying in mid-2023 that the number of Taiwanese workers it had brought to the project were only for the plant's construction phase, a report this week from the Times says roughly half the plant's approximately 2,200 employees have been brought in from Taiwan. That said, the report says TSMC expects the proportion of American workers to increase as it builds out its plants. The country bid farewell to a fallen leader over the weekend. Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, passed away on Sunday at the age of 100. Providing the briefest of bios, a piece from Mac Rumors says Carter served as president from 1977 to 1981 and was known for redefining the post-presidency with his focus on human rights and diplomacy through the Carter Center, for which he won a Nobel Prize in 2002. Carter was also a prominent advocate for and participant in the nonprofit Habitat for Humanity. As it has for a few individuals over the years, Apple turned its homepage over to honoring the man. The Apple.com page was simple, just a black and white picture of Carter on what was likely a Habitat for Humanity worksite. It also included his name and the dates, 1924 through 2024. Apple CEO Tim Cook hit Twitter on Sunday to mark the former president's passing as well. Posting the same picture as the one on Apple's site, the CEO said, "Today we honor President Carter's lifetime of service and his commitment to leaving the world better than he found it. May he rest in peace." A piece from USA Today had President Biden announcing a national day of mourning for Carter, set for Thursday, the 9th of January. Flags will also be flown at half-staff at the White House, public buildings and grounds, military posts, naval stations, and on all Navy vessels through the 27th of January. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management. Anywhere you find people, you're going to find people taking shortcuts. At work, or seriously, even at play, if there is a quicker or easier way to get to the end, people tend to take it. Not a big deal when passing the time, but when working, that's different. You've set up a whole system with an eye on productivity and security. Without realizing it, your employees' desire to get to the end quick could put your security, and thus your business, at risk. 1Password Extended Access Management can help mitigate that risk. It puts unmanaged devices, unknown applications, and rogue identities under your control, making sure every user credential is strong and protected, every device is known and healthy, and every app is visible. 1Password Extended Access Management solves the problems traditional identity and access management and mobile device management miss. It is security for the way people actually work. It's available now to companies with Okta and Microsoft Entra and in beta for Google Workspace customers. Check it out at onepassword.com/macOSken. That is the number 1, onepassword.com/macOSken. And thank you very much to 1Password for their support in 2024. As had been hinted, so it shall be. Free Apple TV Plus is hitting this weekend. After teasing some kind of Apple TV Plus news on social media, a piece from Engadget says Apple has confirmed that from the 3rd of January through the 5th, you'll be able to watch the company's original shows and movies without a paid subscription, but you will need an Apple ID. In its press release, Apple name-checks a number of titles, including such TV shows as Bad Sisters, Presumed Innocent, Shrinking, Silo, Slow Horses, and Ted Lasso. They also highlight such movie offerings as Fly Me to the Moon, The Family Plan, The Instigators, and Wolves. There's tons of sci-fi as well. Dark Matter, For All Mankind, Foundation, Severance. I think I mentioned Silo already. For the kids, there are plenty of Peanuts titles and other such programming, while the whole family can enjoy the hand-drawn animated feature, Wolfwalkers. Well, our whole family did anyway. Personally, I can't recommend Slow Horses enough. Binging episodes is basically like watching one long movie per season. And a really good one. I'm also a huge fan of the 8-episode sitcom Still Up. It's light, centered on a couple of seriously flawed people, with so much warmth and so much heart. And it's funny. The preview runs the whole weekend. It will be free, again, as long as you've got an Apple ID with which to sign in. You can catch it on any device where Apple TV Plus is available, so basically anything with an internet connection and a screen. Is it my imagination, or was 2024 a year of waiting where Apple was concerned? Waiting for Apple Vision Pro to take off, waiting for Apple to do something in artificial intelligence, then waiting for Apple's artificial intelligence to do something. Waiting for Apple's all-auto-encompassing CarPlay to finally hit the dash. Yeah, we're still waiting on that one. The year ends with a number of articles calling Apple Vision Pro the product, invention, or innovation of 2024. It also ends with an equal number of articles calling Apple Vision Pro a flop. While Apple Intelligence was supposed to spur an iPhone supercycle in 2024, analysts and Apple watchers say that's still going to happen, just not until sometime in 2025. Maybe that's tech at today's breakneck pace. Less, what have you done for me lately? More, what will you have done for me 5 minutes from now? Anyway, 2024 comes to an end. As for what 2025 will bring, we'll have to wait. For considering this show's sponsors, for your support on Patreon, for listening, and for the occasional 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, I do thank you. I am seriously grateful. To the dorks offering 1- and 2-star reviews, get a hobby or a life. Either one would be fine. We're done for the year and probably for the week as well. I plan to eat a tiny bit too much and drink just enough to ring in the new year. There'll be napping, reading, and maybe some napping. Barring big breaking news, we'll meet back here on Monday, the 6th of January, 2025. When did that happen? macOS Can, brought to you by me, and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management. Learn more at onepassword.com/macOScan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Happy New Year, one and all. Until next time, that is news from macOS Can. I'm Ken Ray.
Cha.